Hi, I'm Erik, the CEO of CPA.com, and today I'm with Rob Hull, who's the CEO of Giraffe. Rob also founded Adaptive Insights, so he's been thinking about FP&A, financial planning analysis, for decades. So share a little bit of your journey, and it's great to have you leading Giraffe.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. Thanks for having me here. It's great to be here as well. My journey starts back with my role as a CFO. CFO for a number of early stage and growth companies. And what I saw was essentially a frustration inside of the Office of Finance to really manage the business, mostly utilizing Excel as the tool of choice. So plans were being done in Excel. We tried to share them. It was difficult. So I had a vision for bringing planning into the world of the cloud, and that's where Adaptive Planning came into play. Grew that business for quite some time, and stepped away for a bit, and I've come back into it, sort of re-energized, looking at how there's an opportunity really to help accounting firms with their clients in the planning, reporting, analytics space. Really a tremendous opportunity for them to develop their advisory practices.
Well, we're seeing it as a key differentiator. When you think about the trusted advisor role, and you think about what cloud computing did to really enable firms to provide client advisory services, quite exciting. But where it's going is for the firms to be providing more business insights, and the firms that are really thinking about building differentiated practices are absolutely putting that FP&A function in place. So what are some of the key drivers that you see, the value drivers related to this type of trusted advisor insights from a CPA firm to a business client?
Yeah, I think for the firms themselves, really their value as that strategic advisor, helping the businesses really not just understand where they've been, but where they're going.
Right.
And doing that in a way that's collaborative with the business, that's essentially a reduction in errors that those businesses most likely had in their Excel-based world of planning this forward-looking view. Really getting an understanding of the operational drivers in the business. And knowing that when they're making decisions operationally, it's in fact affecting them financially. I think a big part of that then ends up allowing the advisory firms to, I think, take a strategic role really to help these companies avoid the all too frequent situation of just simply running out of capital and shutting their business. Because we know it's 60+% of companies end up shuttering because they've mismanaged their cash flow into the future. So having a little better foresight, a little better look forward, and not just a backwards looking view of the business is really valuable for the customer, for the clients ultimately.
Well, you've been working on this technology for when was Adaptive Insights founded?
Started in 2003.
So 2003.
So it's been a few years.
A few years. So over those 20 years, how have the technologies evolved? I mean, today, what is Giraffe, delivering based on these capabilities? That's maybe different than what would have been possible 5 years ago or 10 years ago.
Yeah, I think, just sort of, you have that evolution from first getting into the cloud, moving beyond just the Excel-based world. I think today what you're seeing is the speed of those applications, the dynamic ability to integrate with other solutions, to bring operational data, financial data, payroll data, all into one place, providing a really holistic view of the business. And doing that in a way that's, we'll call it multidimensionality, the ability to look at all the different aspects, all the different variables in the business, and to look at them with key tags to really characterize their business, really helps companies, whether it's multi-entity, multi-currency, or whatever. There's, I think, just a better overall. We talked about data and integration. Being able to bring all of that data in gives people a really good holistic view today that has been harder in the past. I think the final thing I would say is that a key aspect of this, especially for small businesses and for very fast-moving advisory businesses, is that the ability to build powerful models or complex models, and to do that simply,
Right.
and with a very intuitive UI, just continues to get better and better. The tools that are available to us as developers to build applications in the cloud for customers have evolved tremendously over these years.
Yeah, so I mean, the modeling that a firm can do for a small business, in some ways, when you look at adaptive planning, which went public and supports mid-tier and public companies, those types of capabilities today are offered to the advisory firm. When you think about this category, I mean, another thing that we talk a lot about with firms is focusing on particular verticals. What couple is there? I know you've only been on the job 4 months here, but when you've been talking to the firms, any insights on kind of the verticals that they're finding some of the greatest value related to these modeling capabilities?
Yeah, I think the great thing about planning is that it's very horizontal.
Right.
And so it applies to any number of different vertical spaces. Right. What I think we hear in talking to the advisory firms is that a platform like Jarab allows them to standardize some of what they're doing for a given vertical. So if there is a way of some of the terminology, some of the reporting format, some of the planning and modeling formulas and calculations and metrics that they're creating may in fact be very vertical specific. And so what we allow them to do is to standardize a template that might be vertically oriented. And they could have multiple of those. So they could touch let's say it's a dental practice, right, or some sort of medical practice. It might be real estate transaction firms. It might be some sort of hospitality or restaurant business. All of those things could, in fact, for a given firm, each have their own templates that then allow them to be highly leveraged in attacking a particular vertical inside of their client base.
Well, the other thing that's exciting about, as you said, it's a horizontal platform, is that it can sit across a number of different GLs. So then the firm can work on these templates, and they can not all the clients are going to be the same general ledger software, but they can have standardization at the FP&A level.
That's right. I think, and doing that with native integrations into things like QuickBooks, into Xero, into NetSuite, into a Sage Intacct allows us to be very broad in who we work with, and essentially allows the advisors to not have to focus on that part of the data exchange. It really provides a lot of leverage for them, certainly.
Well, you've been on board 4 months, working with a great team there at Jarab, a lot of work to get it to where it is today. I know you've been having a number of strategic discussions with the team. What do you see in the year ahead?
Yeah, there's some exciting things coming. We've I think just beginning to roll out some, I'll call it the first glance at AI infusing itself into the product in the form of auto forecasting, looking back at what's happened in historical financials to project forward for folks. And that really helps us in really working with advisors to help their clients through the whole evolution of what that advisory may look like. In a lot of cases, advisory starts with mostly backwards-looking historical reporting. From reporting, being able to pull in an automated auto forecast that looks back at data to project forward, to begin to have a conversation with the client that says, really the strategic value here is not just to understand what's happened, but where you're headed. And we have tools to help you do that. We have advice to help guide you through that process. So moving then from reporting into auto forecasting into a more driver-based planning model really helps them to move their clients along through this maturity model of how to manage their businesses looking forward. Those are in all parts of that life cycle. We are continuing to add new and exciting things into the mix. I think the other piece that you'll see expand over time is there are two other things that I'm excited about. One is we talked a little bit about operational data and getting data from other systems of record. Being able to bring data into a single source of truth that allows you to then understand what happened and project forward off of that is incredibly powerful. And I think the final thing that I think really does help set us apart is the ability to work kind of behind the scenes with the advisors to help them manage their practice, the planning and reporting with their customers. So a partner portal that says, here are all your customers, here's who's logged in, here's some information about what they've been doing, when you've last reached out to them with reporting, where the last model came from. That's an area that exists within the product today that's just going to get better and better over time. And I'll say one last thing that it's a little bit in the, we hope to get there in the not too distant future. And that's, there's great insight in the data that we have from all of these customers. And so with some blind aggregation and the ability to be able to pull together things like benchmarks, we're hoping to give the advisors data and insight that makes them even more strategic in the insight that they provide to their clients.
Well, Rob, I think that's a perfect conclusion. I mean, that's some really powerful vision or powerful some of the capabilities I know are available today. But I like the term auto forecasting, and better leveraging of operational data, better insights. So I think this is something that we've come a long way with these capabilities, but there's a lot more in store. And one thing that we've been saying about Gen AI is it really is going to enhance the capabilities of the advisor. And that's basically what you just said. So thank you very much for this discussion, and look forward to more in the future.
Yeah, thank you very much. We really appreciate the partnership with CPA.com.
Thank you.
Yeah.